Last video that I did was on miracles of my grandma when I would spend the summers. And so you know that I spent the summers there for just 3 or 4 summers, and then she moved down to where we were after Daddy died. So anyway, but I've got to tell you a little bit about her life. I'll share more in a future series, but for right now, her and Daddy, when they had a ranch about 170 acres out in the boonies in Montana Valley. And during the Depression, they had their home open for people in need. And they would come, they would help. They always had lots of farm animals, cattle, and fields, and gardens, and so they'd come and they'd have them help with that. Well, another thing they did was they became foster parents, and they took in a total of 14 different kids through the years, and they would change their lives. They asked the state, "You give us the worst of your kids. We want the worst cases," and that's how they did. And they worked through scriptures and prayer, and those kids caught Jesus in their lives. And my grandma and grandpa, anyway, my grandma was a teacher that she would teach all over the place. In fact, at one time there's 2 different times, she would teach the kids the Indians on the reservation, and not through the U.S. government, on her own will. And then she would teach the black families that were ostracized, that were on the outskirts of the town. She would go to them, and they just loved her. She became best friends to so many, and she would change lives. And these 14 kids that came to her, they were delinquents. They were doing poor in school, terrible. What would she do? She would turn them from F to A students. To me, this is a miracle, a gift, and that would produce miracles in the life of many a people. Oh, hundreds and hundreds of people, students she's had through the years, and she's changed their life. And she would work on their self-esteem, and she would have many times prayer with them, and she would just change their hearts and their minds, and she would work miracles that way. And so I wanted to share that about her. And